Welcome to Riverbend Talon on WBGZ. Brought to you by the Halpin Music Company.
That's right, brought to you by the Halpin Music Company, who are bailing people out this week, Pigpen, because, you know, they got those instruments you can rent, right?
Yeah.
And so when you're a child who just joined the first band and orchestra of their career, decides, no, I'm not playing tuba, I want the clarinet.
Tube is too heavy. It's too hard to carry in the bus.
It was fun to look at and look like fun, but now,
Right.
man, the mouthpiece goes over my nose. So,
Yeah, so they're trading them in. They're trading
whatever, yeah.
Yeah. And that has happened with my own children, I know, where they think they want to play saxophone and they realize, wow, you got to blow really hard. It's easier to, play the timbales. No, I don't know.
So Riverbend Talent is a show, and Halpin Music Company, the sponsor, along with Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance and Michael Crider of Farmers Insurance.
There you go.
The Sea Shanty Sing-Along underway at Morrison's Irish Pub. This is what we do on Riverbend Town. We talk about what's going on around town on the weekends, if you're just tuning in for the very, very first time.
And we also interview people.
Right. And
Usually locally based people. Sometimes maybe people who aren't quite so locally based but have a local connection, like our guest tonight. We got Mr. Andy Frasco of Andy Frasco in the UN, because he's going to be playing at Framley Fest in Benton, Illinois. He also lived in the Ozarks for a while, so, kind of a local connection.
you're stretching it.
I'm stretching it. That's all right.
See, what you do here is you just turn it on you.
Yeah, okay.
And you say, I'm a local promoter. That makes it a local show. That's what we do with Phil Callis, right?
You know what? We also have Jennifer Nelson is in the interview. She's a local
drummer.
Local drummer, and help.
Why'd you stutter? It
Why
should
did
be
I
obvious.
stutter?
She's a local drummer. I think you were possibly not going to say that.
I wasn't. I was going to say she's part of the Framley Fest staff that she sat in and interviewed him and asked a few questions of her. She had on her mind also.
Okay.
So
that's a tough weekend. There's lots of competition that weekend.
It's Labor Day weekend. There's so much going on that weekend. But, it is what it is.
They're playing over at the racetrack that weekend.
Who's that?
In Madison. Billy Peak.
Billy Peak.
Yeah. Played with Chuck Berry.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
I think Bonnie Bramlett brought up Billy Peak during that interview.
Yeah.
I don't remember what was on air and what was off, because we got to talk to her beyond the what people heard.
A lot of times I can't remember the questions that were asked. Did that happen before the interview or after the interview? Because, a lot of times we sit and sort of chat with the folks for a while before we jump into it, or after, either one. But, so cool. Yeah.
Billy Peak, he's playing over there at the Rockin' Blues Barbecue at the racetrack in Madison that weekend. I think it's the 4th.
There you go.
Along with the Motown Review, fabulous Motown Review, not just any Motown Review. And Heartbreak Line, you know who that is?
No.
That's Larry Rowlands.
Oh, there you go. Of the Rowlands fame, the Rowlands family.
They got go-karts and hot air balloons
at
their festival. What do you got at your festival?
Nothing.
Go-karts?
No.
I bet you got a golf cart.
I got golf carts. We got kayaks. We got canoes. We got a 44-acre lake. You can take them out at will. You don't even have to pay for them. You don't even have to ask anybody.
Well, you drive around on that golf cart going, give me a ride for a nickel. Sometimes you say, light your path for a nickel.
That's how you make money at these things. A nickel a piece.
Well, your daughter makes money better than you do.
Well, she's good at it. She's good. So
she is. That's why I hired her when I worked over there.
Well,
so what's it called? Your festival.
Framley Fest. Yeah. So it's a lot of people think that stands for friends and family, but it's really freaks and family. So if you're a family member or a freak or a freaky family member, I don't know. It's happening on Labor Day weekend down in Benton, Illinois. Andy Frasco and the UN going to be headlining that Saturday night. Reverend Peyton and his big damn band, that's going to be our guest next week, and they're going to be playing down there on the Friday evening.
Man, Cricket and the Grilled Avocados are playing at Gillespie Lake that weekend.
Yeah. There's a ton going on. The Midwest
Bear
Fest
play on the lake?
Is going on.
I wonder if they got a stage that floats.
I think they're going to be on a barge.
That'd be cool.
I don't know if they have barges on lakes, but it seemed like an all right idea.
So what's going on tonight? Well, something's probably happening at Post Commons. I didn't see anything posted, but they usually do something on Thursday night, Hollywood 5, 7 to 11 at Fast Eddie's tonight. Open mic at the Conservatory.
Yeah.
And Godfrey. No.
And Alton right down
the
on
other
Broadway.
The other one's at Godfrey, right?
Yeah.
I was getting ahead of myself.
Yeah.
Conservatory and Alton, the Bakers and Hale is what I was talking about.
Yeah,
that's in Godfrey for the open mic with Everhart and Light.
That's 6 to 10 p.m. tonight, so it's already underway.
Matt Taul, 6 o'clock at JJ Thermos at East Cape Plaza in East Alton tonight.
There you go. Back to happening with that. We got Scott and Michelle, 7 p.m., Music in the Park.
Right.
And that is in Bethalto, Illinois.
I seen
That's
that on
Central
there.
Park.
This happened to me a few times. Everyone's so short-staffed, and I think I'm seeing more double bookings than normal, because they're just trying to keep the doors open.
Right.
They don't have staff. But like Scott and Michelle, I seen Soulshine Groove was listed on their site as playing, but Scott and Michelle was listed on the official Music in the Park flyer.
Well.
And then I went to the, I think it was a fireman's page or something like that in Bethalto, and they had Scott and Michelle. So I'm 2 out of 3. I'm going with Scott and Michelle.
That's some Meatloaf song going down there. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, baby.
Speaking of Music in the Park, Grafton.
Yeah.
Hookie playing Music in the Park tonight from 7 to 9.
Nice.
Here you go. Going over on the Wild E, the Music of Boston with Boston singer Tommy DeLauro. I don't even remember that
That's
guy.
not Brad Delp.
No, well, if he's playing, it's got to be a hologram.
Right. I'm just saying. I guess Tommy was one of the replacements for Brad.
Right.
So, but you got to have a high voice you got to get up there to cover that Boston music.
Oh,
man.
yeah. 7:30, though, at the Wild E tonight, the Boston Tribute. Dave Horton, 6 to 9 at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville, and Gordo playing at the Prairie Inn from 6 to 9.
He is going to be our guest 2 weeks from today.
Right?
Yep. There you go. Jason Gordo doing the one-man band.
After he's out of town so that no one can chase him down.
Right.
Strangers Duo, 6:30 to 9:30 at Randall D. of Dalton Veterans Park in Pontoon Beach tonight. The Strangers Duo. Shotgun Creek, 7 to 10 at Silver Creek Saloon in Belleville. And here's a local promoter right out of Bethalto.
Yeah.
Mike Judy. And a lot of the younger bands have worked with Mike Judy.
All right.
And he's doing his, I put Mike Judy Presents there just so I can give him a shout out.
Yeah.
He's not that kind of guy, just so you know.
Right. I'm unaware of Mike Judy.
Yeah. If you went back and listened to all those interviews you did with those bands, you'd hear his name keep getting brought up.
I don't listen to what those bands say.
I know you don't. Anyways, his show is Between the Buried and Me. At 7:30 at the Old Rock House in St. Louis, and we'll mention him a few more times before this list ends.
Right.
So that takes us to Friday, and don't forget, coming up, Andy Frasco, our guest tonight on Riverbend Talent, brought to you by the Halpin Music Company, by Mr. Matt Van Forest of Macias Insurance, and by Michael Crider of Farmers Insurance. And we appreciate the help.
There you go.
And they can help you at Halpin Music. If you are having trouble figuring out what to rent for your child, for a band and orchestra, they are the place to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're expecting them to change instruments. So there you go.
They've been doing it a few years. They kind of know the rigmarole. Not their first rodeo.
Friday nights in Alton, they do pianos at Raging Cajun every Friday night. Hollywood Duo 2 to 6 on Friday, and Exit 52 7:30 to 11:30 at Fast Eddie's in Alton. The Kingdom Brothers 6 o'clock at Chubby's in Alton. Matt Taul back at it Friday night 7 o'clock at the Lodge at Lovejoy in Alton. Heartland 7 to 10 at the BFW in Alton. Miles Cameron 8 o'clock at Chez Marilyn's in Alton, right by the Miles Davis statue.
Perfect. I was down there for a little party Friday night. It was packed and a good time.
I wasn't sure if we were supposed to mention that party last week. I didn't know if it was a surprise or,
I honestly didn't either. I might have blown the surprise. But either way, it was a good time. And
I would have never led you into that. So just
right.
I would never do that.
Right. We got Backwoods Burden 7 to 10 p.m. at Baker's and Hale tomorrow evening. We got Money Shot, 7:30 at JJ Thermos down at Eastgate Plaza on Friday.
That's our sponsor, Michael Crider, Farmers Insurance.
There you
See,
go.
I do that, so I make sure we mention it. That's important.
Absolutely.
Because, thanks to them, we are here.
And thanks to him, Money Shot's going to be at JJ Thermos.
That's true.
Fireside, 7 to 11 at Uncle Al's up in Jerseyville. Levi Loyd, 7 to 10 p.m. at George's Local Brew up in Jerseyville. And then Big George Brock Jr. and the NGK Band throwing it down at the loading dock, 6 p.m. on Friday evening.
Jim on Keys, 3 to 7 at Aeries Winery Friday. Phillip Russo, 6:30 to 10:30 at Grafton Pub. And Steve Mellas, 7 o'clock at the Hawg Pit in Grafton. That's every Friday night. Catfish Willie, 6 to 9 at the Bloody Bucket in Grafton. And I found, you know how we got bands playing around Alton, but also...
Right, yeah.
I found one for Grafton. I'm drawing a blank. I meant to write down the name of it because it's not. Anyways, it's all on cottonmouth.org now.
There you go.
So, I hadn't heard of the Bloody Bucket, had you?
No. Well, there you go. That's either a new one or one that's just popping up on our radar.
I'm not sure how new it is. New to us, but your former attorney may have something to do with that.
Huh? It wouldn't surprise me.
I said Ben Allen over the thing.
He has a little pull down there in Granite City, so there you go.
That's Grafton.
Or Grafton, yeah. Granite City,
Speaking of Granite
whatever.
City, that's where you're trying to go next.
Yeah, Pontoon Beach right next to Granite City. We got Down and Dirty, 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. at Deutz Village Inn. Always a party down at Deutz.
Talus Entertainment presents Hurricane Ruth with guest Southside Bluesy Boys and Scott and Michelle at Jacob Myers in Granite City on Friday night. Flip side, 7 o'clock at Patty McDee's in Granite City. Good to see Patty McDee's back at it.
Right. We got Butch Moore, 5 to 8 p.m. at the Stagger Inn again in Edwardsville, Illinois.
Right. Corey Sathoff, 7 o'clock at the Outlet at Edison's in Edwardsville. Lanny and Julie, 6 to 9 at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville. Dave Horton, 6 to 10 at the Marina at Holiday Shores in Edwardsville. And Dueling Pianos with Mike Stonderberger versus Cameron Brown, 7:30 at the Wild E Theater in Edwardsville. There's Soulshine Groove, 7 to 11 at the Moose in Edwardsville on Friday. The Midlife Duo, 7 o'clock at the Cabin at Judy Creek in Glen Carbon. Scott and Marlin, 8 o'clock at Unwind Lounge in Highland. Buffalo Road, 8 o'clock at the Grant Fork Homecoming at Fireman's Park in Highland on Friday. Check this out. Hooky, 3 to 5 on the Apex stage at the Illinois State Fair.
Nice. That was supposed to go down last year, and it didn't quite happen, so good for Hooky for making it out there. The Hooky monster is loose.
That's right. On Friday night at the State Fair. Headed up there. Johnny Chase Band, 5 to 9 at Long Shot Tiki Bar in Portage de Sioux, Missouri. And then on Friday night, Mike Judy's presents Blacktop Mojo with Spirit 66 and Maximus, 7:30 at a Red Flag in St. Louis. That wraps up a Friday night.
Who's Mike Judy? No,
right.
I'm just teasing.
He's a promoter out of Bethalto, because we don't single out just you as being a promoter of local talent.
I would hope
in
not.
This area, we like to mention all of the talent, so it's a nice, fair, even game of
there you go.
And do our best.
And that's why we do Happy Trails and Bush Fest and Trinity River Fest and any other fest that people come to us with, our concerts. So if you want your concerts or your gigs mentioned, drop a line, right? Email Cottonmouth. Cottonmouth.org, and we'll talk about you.
Yeah,
probably won't be good, but we'll talk about you.
Yeah.
What's happening Saturdays? We got a few minutes here. Still.
Yeah, we got a few things to say.
I was going to say there's a few pages here. Holy smoky!
Man, tell me about it. This is what's happening when we're back at it and moving on down the line here in the Riverbend rock and roll scene now.
You turned into Wolfman Jack halfway through that.
I don't know about the Wolfman, but I was something, that's for sure. Anyways, the Alton Farmers and Artisans Market, 8 to 11 or 12 at the corner of Landmarks Boulevard and Henry in downtown Alton.
That's for all you early risers or even you up all nighters.
Art and veggies.
You know it, man.
Psalms Theatrics presents Most Wanted, 2 o'clock at Jacoby Arts Center in Alton. Matt Taul, 5 o'clock at the Brown Bag Bistro on Saturday in Alton. Pianos, 9 o'clock at Ragin' Cajun in Alton. And Grand Band, 8 o'clock at Chez, Maryland in Alton, fresh off their performance at the Illinois State Fair on Friday.
And we've got Naked Soul, 2 to 6 p.m., and Champagne Fix, 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. at Fast Eddie's Bon Air.
Big George Brock and the NGK Band keep it going, 7 o'clock at Baker's and Hale in Godfrey. Soulshine Groove, 7 to 10 at JJ Thermos at Eastgate Plaza in East Alton. Scott and Michelle, busy this weekend, 4 to 8. And then Walk On, 9 o'clock at the Pump House in Wood River. DJ Dan C., 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. at the Franchise in Wood River. Audio Distilled, don't know who's playing that. That's usually on Saturdays at Blue Stem Vodka Distillery. Colossal Rex, 7 o'clock at Red's Sage House in Bunker Hill. Dana Anderson, 7 to 10 at George's Local Brew in Jerseyville. Noble at the Legion in Kane. And Overhead Dog, 3 to 7 at Grafton Winery. Not two-headed dog, overheaded dog.
Two-headed dog. That's a good one,
That's not
man.
Wolfman Jack, man. It's not really Rocky Erickson.
That's not Rocky Erickson at all.
A little closer to Meathead or something. I don't know. No.
We got the Outlaw Opry, 12 to 4 p.m., so a noon start there.
Maybe Captain Beefheart.
Love me some Captain Beefheart.
Fireside, also 6 to 10 at the Hawg Pit.
That's both Outlaw Opry and Fireside going on at the Hawg Pit on Saturday evening.
Yep. The Owls, 5 o'clock at the Loading Dock on Saturday. Worth the Fight, 7 o'clock at the Oyster Bar in Grafton on Saturday. Backwoods Bird, 1 to 5, and Simple Therapy, 7 to 11 at Grafton Pub. Dan Spro, 12 to 3, and Jim and Carl, 3 to 7, and Aeries Winery in Grafton. Fireside, 7 to 11 at the Gold Bar at Rustic Retreats in Grafton on Saturday. Jim Bergman, 5 to 8 at the Bloody Bucket in Grafton. Yeah. They've got to have Bloody Marys there, right?
I'm going to find out. Okay. I don't know what the place is, but I'm interested. Yeah. It sounds like a good place to go for like Halloween or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got the Fry Project, which sounds something I might be into doing. Fry down at Deutz Village Inn, 8 p.m. on, what are we on, Saturday evening?
Yeah,
Sorry.
Saturday.
Saturday, Fry Project, 8 p.m. Saturday evening, Deutz Village Inn, Pontoon Beach, Illinois.
I'll tell you what's going to be hopping this Saturday, and that is Edwardsville.
Yeah?
Yeah, they got the big bike race. Remember
Jack
Jack Tweston talked about that a little bit?
Yep, absolutely.
It's called the Rotary Criterion Festival.
Yeah.
Right? The Criterion being the bike run. It's from 3 to 11 in downtown Edwardsville. They're going to shut down the street, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
If they don't, this will be even more exciting.
A lot of bikes on the sidewalks that day.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Because it's a series of high-speed professional and amateur bike races.
Yeah.
Complemented by a running event, free kids race, a kids zone with an art tent, an entertainment zone complete with live music, and it's going to be Mike Sonderreger from 4 to 7 and Robert Perry and the Mojos from 7 to 11, and all the bars around there will have people in them too, like Matt Meyer, 5 to 8 at the Stagger Inn, again in Edwardsville, Lanny and Julie, 2 o'clock at the Foundry in Edwardsville, the Skylark Brothers, 2 to 5, and Lexi Schlimmer, 6 to 10 at Reese's Brewery in Edwardsville. That's where he was talking about playing the bike race, right?
Yeah.
Big Daddy's just going to shut it down. They're not going to do no music this weekend. They're just going to cater to the bike fans.
Yep.
And, that takes care of what's happening in Edwardsville on Saturday.
Well, right down the road from Edwardsville, we got Collinsville, Illinois, and Flipside's going to be playing at Whodats from 2 to 5 p.m. in Collinsville.
Man, that seems more like a Sunday, but... So double check that one.
Yeah, it does sound, the 2 to 5 gives it that Sunday matinee feel, but make it down to Whodats either way.
Either way. Squeeze Box, go ahead. 6 to 9 at the Prairie Inn in Dorsey, and then Mojo Universe, 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. at Slotsy's in Warden.
All right. Mm-hmm. Then we my buddy Pat Liston, 8 p.m. at L. Flanagan's in Highland, Illinois.
Hicktown, 8 o'clock at the Grand Fork Homecoming at Fireman's Park in Highland on Saturday. The Glendale Riders up at Wild Pickens in Chesterfield. Dave Horton, 6 o'clock at the Concordia in Staunton. Do you know where that is?
No.
I think that's a bowling alley, if I'm not mistaken. Or used to be.
I would like to, we were talking about this with Tweston last night. It's weird playing in a bowling alley because it's loud, but fun.
Right. Benbow City Shuffle, 6 to 9 at D-Camp Station in Staunton on Saturday. Money Shot, 8 o'clock at Chaps in Litchfield.
And that is Michael Crider. Bum, 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 bum.
Of Farmers Insurance. And after I say the blessing of the fleet with the Soulard Blues Band playing from 1 to 5 at Longshot Tiki Bar in Portage Desu, I would like to say Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance is a sponsor of this show, as well as Halpin Music Company. And Mike Judy is going to sponsor one with Mac Lethal, 7:30 at Red Flag in St. Louis on Saturday. That takes us to Sunday, which is another page.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Things are happening, though. It feels so good to have this many gigs right around our own little town on a weekend.
Yes. No need to leave town. We got it all right here.
We got it all right here in the Riverbend.
And Grafton, man. I mean,
Grafton is it's 5 minutes away. 5 minutes up the river, and they've
embraced that tourist destination.
Absolutely, the Key West of the Midwest.
That's right.
We got Naked Soul happening 1 to 5 p.m. and the Truckers 6 to 10 p.m. down at the Bone Air on Sunday.
Right. And let's see, Pooches and Pours out at Doc Holidays and Cottage Chills on Sunday with Gabby and friends. Acoustic DNA 2 to 6 at the Pump House in Wood River. Shell Shack plays every Sunday, and I think they do a bit of an open jam there as well from 3 to 7 at Martin's Tunes and Eats, formerly Chico's in Wood River.
Excellent.
Pennsylvania Slim Duo 1 to 5 at the Grafton Winery on Sunday. Matt Haas Jackson 2 p.m. at the Hawg Pit in Grafton, Chubby. That's like a wrestler, isn't it?
Mad Horse Jackson.
That's right.
It sounds like, he's taking the ring.
Yeah.
Then we got Trilogy, 3 p.m. at the Loading Dock on Sunday. Jake and Jared, 1 to 5 p.m. at the Grafton Pub.
Hold up right there.
Yeah.
So I contacted the Grafton Pub today because, as I mentioned, I keep seeing, double bookings, right?
Right.
And I knew we had Jake Weber, recently, and he said he was playing up there at Grafton Pub, and I looked at their site, and they had another gal playing. Her last name was, Caitlin Rose. That's what it was. And so I contacted them. They were very nice to me today and took their time, understood my situation, and addressed it rather quickly and made sure to straighten that out for me. And I just want to give them props for, excellent service.
So there you go. So it is Jake and Jared.
Right.
2 out of 3 of the Lonesome Drifters.
That's right. That's on Sunday. Grand Band 2 o'clock at the Oyster Bar in Grafton. Jonathan Baker Duo 1 to 5 at Aeries in Grafton. Bob Gleason 2 to 5 at the Bloody Bucket in Grafton. The Owls 2 to 6 at Wild Pickens Winery in Chesterfield on Sunday. Cabin Fever 3 to 7 at Reds in Bunker Hill. John Conley playing in town Sunday, 3 o'clock. At the Wild E Theater in Edwardsville, and after you view some John Conley country, you're going to be inspired to head down to the open mic with Butch Moore from 5 to 9 at the Stagger Inn again in Edwardsville. Remember, that's naked at 7 instead of 11 these days.
Let's get naked at 7, baby.
Dave Horton, 2 o'clock at Whodats in Collinsville. Maybe that Whodats was right. Maybe they got something going on there on Saturday.
Yeah.
This one here I saved for you just for fun.
All right, we have, I must be on the wrong page. We got
page.
Mike Judy presents Riff Raff. Nice.
No, calm down. That's not who you think it is.
It's not.
Nope, I'm sorry to tell you.
It says Riff Raff right there.
Yeah, there's a band that folks may remember from this town. I know Pigpen does because that's a granny rocker band, Riff Raff.
Yes.
Nope. That's an out of town hip hop guy.
Okay.
$25 at the door, and that's
right.
30 day up plus $49 reserve balcony. So, and he's touring the country.
I'm sure he's fine, but if it was the old band Riff Raff getting back together, I would rather go see that. Those guys were a lot of fun. Hey, I'll tell you a band I really like the name of. Meatwood Flack.
That's right.
That's a great name. Meatwood Flack is playing from 1 to 5 p.m. at Roosters in Staunton, Illinois. We got About Time, 2 to 6 p.m. at the Third Shoot West in West Alton. So they're up and going with business now. Our buddies Rogers and Neenhouse, 2 to 6 p.m. at the Boathouse in St. Charles, Missouri. And finally, Bad Decisions, 3 to 7 p.m. at the Long Shot Tiki Bar in Portage Desu, just across the river.
We can all relate to that name.
I've made more bad decisions than good ones. You know, probably made a bad decision, Andy Frasco, when he decided to play Family Fest. He hasn't made it there yet, but just
it wasn't
talking
a bad
to
decision. We decided to quit his job, though.
It was not. He was got a very interesting story. Broke into the music industry at a pretty serious level at an unbelievably young age. It's all part of the interview we've got coming up. So, you got anything else you want to say before we dump into the Andy Frasco interview?
Oh man, that just sounded like something I would do in the back room.
Before we dump into this interview. Now, before we get into it, we should definitely mention that this show is sponsored by Halpin Music Company. As Dennis has mentioned, if you got kids in band or kids interested as school starts up, this is the place to get your instruments. And if they choose the wrong instrument 3 weeks in, they'll swap it out for you for another one.
It's just a rental thing. So
it's rental, yeah.
No obligation.
But here's the great thing about it. Let's just say you got a kid. They want to play saxophone or they want to play trumpet or whatever. You rent that instrument for the year, and at the end of the year, they're still interested. Right. It is a rent-to-own situation. You can put all that money towards buying it. So it's kind of like making payments and kind of like not. So there you go. Rent-to-own your kids' instruments. Also brought to you by Matt Van Voorhis. He is my insurance man. He insures all my wares. He's with Macias Insurance.
Right. We have to have two guys because anybody who has a teenager about to drive knows exactly what we're talking about.
Oh, man. About to drive. He about took me out the other day. He's got his permit. And, it was my fault. I said, go ahead and get over to the left. And, he didn't really look that good before he did. But, yeah.
So we also have Michael Crider of Farmers Insurance, and he helps give Alex, who volunteered his time up until that, a little bit of money for showing up here and helping us get the video out.
He is our engineer, and that Michael Crider of Farmers. Bum, 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 bum. I tried to throw the timing off.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get down to this Andy Frasco interview. If you're unaware who this guy is, he is definitely a show worth seeing. Lots of energy, lots of fun, and just a downright nice fella.
He likes to dance.
He's a energetic guy. All right, welcome back to Riverbend Talent, brought to you by Halpin Music and Macias Insurance. And we are talking to Andy Frasco here. Also, Jennifer Nelson from Family Fest, and then Andy Frasco of Andy Frasco and the UN. What is happening this morning, my brother?
It's a beautiful Tuesday. It's going great. Or Wednesday, whatever. You don't know what day it is. Oh my God!
Thank you, Cleveland.
yeah. That's how I felt. Like I played Floyd Fest this weekend, and like straight from the show, we played at 3 a.m. My flight was at 5 a.m. and I'm just like on one, and I wake up in Denver, and now I'm here. Hell yeah, here we go.
Right on. All right, well, Mr. Andy Frasco, this show normally we highlight local talent from the Riverbend community. Now, you did live close to the Mississippi here. You lived in the Ozarks for quite a while.
I did. I lived in Kansas City, and I lived in Fayetteville, Arkansas for a little bit. Yeah.
There you go. And the reason we're having you on to tie it in locally is that you will be playing in Benton, Illinois at Family Fest
Hell yeah.
on Labor Day weekend. You'll be there September 4th.
I'll clap to that. Let's go. Frasco at the Family Fest, baby.
There you go. So, but you let's talk real quick a little bit about how early you got into this whole industry.
Oh,
15 years old.
Yeah, 15 years old. I faked my age to work at a record label called Drive Through Records, and I've been 6 foot my whole life. So I didn't really have any pubic hair or whatever, but I was tall, so people took me seriously. So I started marketing bands and booking bands, and then I got tired of all these bands breaking up, so I started playing. I learned how to play an instrument, and when I was 18, and started booking myself, hiring musicians on Craigslist to back me up in every city. And I would just live in my van every day and just do the thing. And the first people who booked me was The Midwest, baby. Shout out to the Midwest. Let's go, baby. Yeah.
Hey, man, that like seriously to break into this type of an industry at 15, that's a pretty slick move on your part.
I don't know if I broke into the industry. I kind of just forced my way. But no, it was good. It's like I've always been a hard worker, and I just I think of opportunity as a numbers game. So if you put yourself in a bunch of opportunities, at least one of them's going to hit,
Right. If there's 10 girls at the bar and I hit on all 10 of them, one
of them's got to not have a boyfriend,
Oh man. But that was Drive Through Records at 15, but then like by 18,
I was at Atlantic. Yeah, I moved to Atlantic Records. I moved to New York. Worked at my sister got me a job at Fuel. Was it Fuel by Ramen? Yeah, Fuel by Ramen, who was owned by Atlantic. And that was when like the whole website crash and Napster and stuff. So they're like trying to hire young kids who understood how to pirate music. And we were the first ones who got fired. They're like, actually. We got everything we need. You kids are fired for stealing our music. So, so I basically, I'm like, all right, this is it. I'm done here. I'm going to just be a band and be a musician. And if it takes me forever to get to that point where I could finally talk to a record label again, then I could. 15 years later, now I'm talking to record labels again. So everything takes time,
Yeah. Well, and in that 15 years, you've just been a touring. You're a roadster.
Yeah. 250 shows. We've been doing 250 shows a year for the last 15 years. Yeah. 40 states, 8 countries. I remember like when I was booking my Europe tours when I was a little older, I was like, just Google Translate, Dutch or Google Translate German. And now I read those emails back and it was like, horrible. I'm like, I want play venue, please. Thank you much. Thank you. Have a good day. Like, I'm like, damn, they know I'm full of shit over here, but they still book me, so it's fine.
That's hilarious. Google Translate works. That's awesome. Hey, so like, and when you hit the road, like you say, you were using Craigslist to find musicians in the beginning, and you still. Like you and Sean Eccles and Ernie Chang have been with you. Ernie Chang's a saxophone player, Sean Eccles, a guitar player, and really both of them just musicians.
Yeah, musicians, like and Andy, my drummer, has been with me for 10 years now. So
I was going to say, Beats has been with you for a long. Yeah, Andy's been with you for a long time now. Yeah. Also, but you've had a bit of a rotating cast. Even, the bass player you've had for the couple of years now, too.
Superman. Oh no! Before, yes, I had a guy who changed his name legally to Superman. Superman, Mr. Right. Man. He only wore Superman clothes. And now I have Floyd, who's been with me for a few years, and now I feel like the band is, finally we finally have stability.
You've solidified the guys that. I know Floyd. Me and Floyd hit it off because he's a big Trailer Park Boys fan. When I met him years ago, so but the Superman you brought up, he was like from the Philosophy of Soul, maybe, or
totally. That was Andy, my drummer's old band. And, it's like I met his brother on Craigslist, and his brother and I didn't really work out personality wise. And Andy joined the band, and Andy stuck with me, and we've been riding together for 10 years now. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's you have the ability to just get guys to go on the road with you, guys you maybe don't even know that well.
Yeah. Feels very culty, It's like, come and drink the Kool-Aid of the Frasco band. But
are we talking about Ken Kesey's Kool-Aid or Jim Jones' Kool-Aid?
Hopefully this Kool-Aid doesn't kill anybody. Knock on wood. But
I'm down for the electric Kool-Aid acid test, not so much for the whole Jim Jones.
Yeah, I just drug my band with mushrooms so that they just stay with me. They think this is normal. Why am I so happy living in a van, in a tin can, a coffee can?
I saw your podcast. Speaking of mushrooms, I saw you and Vince Herman cooking with mushrooms.
Yeah, Vince is Vince is one of my heroes, and like that's the only guy I could pitch an idea to like that, and he says yes to. Like I can't pitch that to all these serious musicians; they're all too scared. Vince is like, "What time we doing this?"
Yeah, that was hilarious. And if you haven't, what I'm talking about that was part of the shit show, right? The podcast.
Yeah, I did a talk show. Yeah.
So there you go. So how do people find? Because I want to plug that for you. How do people find your podcast?
My podcast. Well, I have my podcast, and then I have the video version, the shit show. So the podcast is called Andy Frasco's World Saving Podcast, and and that's where you can find that at all podcasts, Spotify, Apple, wherever you guys do podcasts. And then the shit show is on YouTube right now. The whole season is on for free. And it was wild, dude. Quarantine. I woke up from the quarantine bubble and I had 20 videos. It's just like, what, like when you wake up from like doing something and just putting your head to the ground and just going to work, and also you wake up like, damn, we made 5 hours of content of like straight out of the ether, like making fun of nitrous mafia, taking mushrooms with my favorite musicians. Like I couldn't believe this shit they let me do. I'm surprised I'm not arrested, to be honest. Crazy.
I think we're all sort of surprised we're not doing this with bars in front of us at this point.
I'm zooming from the penitentiary or something, dog.
Right. And you've been putting out a lot of music. As a matter of fact, so this is being recorded for station 107.1 FM WBGZ, and then it'll be on YouTube and shareable on social media. I also do a show on 88.1 KDHX out of St. Louis, where I get to play whatever music I want to play. And so I went just Tuesday, this past week. This will be played a few weeks later, but yesterday when we record this, I went to play Change of Pace, and I saw you had a new one, Dancing Around My Grave.
Yeah.
Both. I was already playing Change of Pace.
Like, thank you for being such a supporter, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh, but I love the new song. I just heard it for the first time yesterday.
Oh, really? Thanks, man.
I played it without even listening to it. I just went ahead and played it on the air when it was on Spotify.
Oh my God, I hope it's good. Oh no. No, yeah, that's my guy. Thank you, dog.
It was great. So, man, when did you just recently record that one then?
I was like, I finished the shit show in, what month are we in? We in July. I finished the shit show in, first week of May or June. I finished the shit show in June. Oh my God. And then I had a month and a half gap. I had like this panic attack. I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to go on tour for 3.5 months and I have no new music. All these bands have just been in the studio all quarantine. I'm fucking around with dick jokes and all this stuff for a year and a half. I'm like, I gotta get to work. And I wrote a whole record in a month. Nice. And I flew to 5 different states, wrote 6 songs with Vince Herman, wrote 7 songs with these big Nashville songwriters, and then I wrote that song in Charleston coming off a bender. I was Charleston for 2 weeks, and I just was drinking so heavy, and I felt bad for drinking so much. I called all my friends from Humphreys McGee and Susto and Doom Flamingo. I'm like, hey, we got to write a song, or if I don't come back with anything from this trip besides ulcers and acid reflux, then I better do something about that. So we wrote a song in a day and we recorded it the next day, and Dancing Around My Grave, that was the song. I mean, it's amazing. I don't know what happened, but that opened the vessel of me, and then I wrote 15 songs in 2 weeks. Like, it was just whoosh, whatever floodgate opened, the universe had my back, said, all right, we'll get you ready for this tour.
We're going to make it look like you didn't just jack around all this time.
Oh, yeah. We're going to make sure everyone, you've been thinking about these songs for a year.
Nice. Nice. Hey, and so for people who haven't seen Andy Frasco, I'm just gonna say, like, look, my wife turned me on to you, and she saw you at the Big River Get Down. I don't know.
Oh yeah, the land of David Shaw, the land of David Shaw.
Yeah, David Shaw from the Revivalists does. It's in Hamilton, Ohio. He does this yearly festival, and every year my wife comes back with a name that she wants to brag about. And one year it was you, and she's like, "Oh, I love him. You got to see him." And she says, "Will you take me to? You played at the Castle in Bloomington, Peoria, Illinois, somewhere, a couple hours from our house." She said, "Oh, will you take me to see him?" And I said, "Yeah, sure. I love music." And halfway there, I just looked at her. I said, "Hey, what kind of music are we going to see?" Because I had no idea. And she says, "Oh, it's a dance party." And first thing I think of is Casey and the Sunshine Band for some reason. Right? And I'm just like, okay, I really, I love music. Let's go. You guys are a high energy show. I wasn't quite ready for what I saw because I kind of stood back by the soundboard where the sound would hit me really good.
Yeah.
But I saw the energy bubble down by the stage that was going on. You guys are a very high energy show, rock, blues, jazz, funky. I mean, there's so much going on. You start with what, hip hop? Is that what like you? What
I was deep into hip hop. I was deep into energy that hip hop shows, and I was deep into what punk shows. Like I grew up in LA, so like No Effects was, when I was 10 years old, those guys are LA heroes. Like I'd look and like, oh my God, this is what I need to do. Like this is crazy. This is people jumping around. And from there, I didn't, I'm not really a great rapper, so I couldn't really do that. And I wasn't, I realized being in a punk band every day, I'll just lose my voice every day. So I'm like, I'm going to be a songwriter that's crazy. So I just started writing these happy songs, but putting energy into them and putting, my own authentic, ADD into it. And then 15 years later, I'm still running around.
Man, and the high energy level of the show, I can see with that punk. I can see the punk that now that you mention it, I had talked to you before a few years back at the bootleg when you played the bootleg, and that's how I knew we talked. You said you came from LA and that you had a hip hop background, and I thought I could see that high energy dance level that you guys put out. The musicianship that you have on stage with you, like Eccles, he's a ball of energy too.
Yeah, he's a Missouri boy.
He a matter of fact, college friends with Sean Cannon, a local guy.
Yeah, Sean is killer too. We just played in St. Louis a couple weeks ago, and Sean was the after party for the Broadway Oyster Bar. You
played at the St. Louis Foundry, and then we all headed to the Broadway Oyster Bar and kept
all jammed out. Yeah, kept the party
rolling. Man,
St. Louis is insane, dude. They'll just play. Oyster Bar will play music like 4 a.m., 3 a.m.
Yeah. And the people stay. On a Wednesday night, you'll see that place hopping at 4 a.m. Right. I'm happy to come from a place that the music scene is appreciated this much.
Yeah, seriously. And, the music is, like, and my homegirl, Mickey is my queen out here. She's helped me build my fan base out, built like a fan club, which has helped me so much. And that all started from St. Louis and Illinois, so it's one of our first original venues.
Mickey she's part of our family, and her husband Jeff's in a band with me and Jennifer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I heard about that actually, but this is
don't look it up, please.
No, I'm coming. I'll be. Maybe I'll come sit in his honor or something.
Oh man, that would be awesome. Yeah. That would. But no, we love Mickey. She's your queen. She's our sister. She's a big part of our family. So and her Pro Ambassadors page is pretty cool. She's got going there.
It's popping, dude. I just like so many people just like taking pictures of the back of my afro, like Frasco's here. I'm like, well, damn, I feel like paparazzi up in here,
dog. People taking pictures of your Wookiee foot.
Yeah, everyone's like, it's like Bigfoot sighting. It's like, dude, just take a picture of my ugly ass feet, like Frasco's here.
when you did the show at the Foundry a few weeks ago, and you did some crowd surfing. Right there,
the IKEA parking lot.
Oh yeah, that picture of you smiling. The great thing is, what you're doing your thing. You look so happy at that moment to be in front of that IKEA.
Oh man, you don't realize what you miss until it's gone.
Yeah.
We've been away. I mean, granted, I played some shows I was fortunate enough to play some shows during the quarantine and do all my live stuff, but like to really get back in the crowd and you don't realize what you miss until it's gone. And I was so happy. I'm still happy. I'm about to play going on a tour tomorrow, doing a week in the mountains, and I'm not burnt out. I feel good. I can't believe it. I thought after taking a year and a half off, we all would be tired as shit after 4 shows, but I think the adrenaline is still kicking in. I'll let you know when we start that 3.5 month tour. How
let me know at the end of it, right?
Yeah.
So though it's like that because something you love, like music, can become a job at some point. And Sean Cannon and Neil Francis last year both came and played the Family Fest, and they both were thankful and said, you get to where you're playing 4 or 5 nights a week and you wish you had a night off until it's taken away from you.
Yeah.
And then you're so damn happy just to play a show,
Right.
And it's cool to see the scene. I mean, to a lot of us, going to a live music venue is going to church, man. That's
totally.
We have to have that. And having it gone for a year, does it feel joyous? Like seeing you play at the Foundry the other day, seeing Neil Francis play, we've seen some really good shows where it's like your spirit's just overjoyed. And that's what I meant by that picture. It's good because you were overjoyed. You said that you had a bottle of Jameson in your hand, dirty ass feet flying.
Gross ass feet.
Smile from Wookiee feet, smile from ear to ear, but that you were truly enjoying that moment. That's beautiful. And every time I've seen you play, you have that attitude. That's one of the when you see a band that's enjoying themselves on stage that much, you can't not have fun.
Man, I really appreciate that. I think life's all about being authentic to the little kid inside your soul. That thing never leaves. And just the more we get older, we forget about that little kid. So we gotta never forget that and be happy just to be alive.
Yeah. And enjoy life because it's going by, man. My daughter, I got a 13-year-old daughter, and she tells me I'm the world's oldest juvenile. And if it's supposed to be an insult, it is not to me. I take it. I'm like, oh, thank you.
It's a badge of honor right there, dog.
right. So this is Jennifer from Family Fest. You haven't said anything. What do you want to say to Andy? Come on in here. I know you came in.
Oh, yeah. I was just I'm really excited to have you down at Family Fest this year.
Thank you for having me. It's going to be awesome.
Oh my gosh. I can't, everybody we've talked to is just so excited about it. And I saw you in St. Louis with him a few weeks ago. Man, that show was awesome. That was actually the first time I've seen you live. So,
oh, great. Damn, you trusted everyone for me to book me.
Well, I watched all your stuff and I've heard a lot of stuff online, but I mean, even then I was like, oh, that's pretty awesome. But I mean,
well, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hot off Bonnaroo too, so we'll be on a cloud 9 playing in front of 40,000 people, and then we're rolling into Family just pumped up. So you're gonna get a good show.
Yeah, it's gonna be a nice, intimate venue compared to Bonnaroo.
Right.
I'm okay. I'm not a picky dude. Our band, we played a show, we headlined Red Rocks into playing for 25 people the next night. So it's it's all good. We ain't tripping about size.
Similar.
It's going to have that old time feeling.
I love it. I grew up. This band grew up in the bars and intimacy, and I feel those are the best shows. Is when it's just in your face and family style. That's my shit.
crowd surfing with only 20 people. It's going to get dangerous.
Oh yeah. So basically, there's 15 people just walking me to the bar. You know? It's awesome.
We'll do the Jewish Hawg. No.
Yeah, the Hawg and Tequila. Yeah, we'll rock all that stuff. I'll get Missouri and Illinois hopped up on Jewish culture for sure.
It'll get Jewish as fuck up in there.
Oh yeah, let's do it. I'll roll in there.
Didn't you want to ask him about getting left behind one time by the band?
Oh yeah, I read a story about you that said you woke up in a parking lot in your boxer shorts.
Oh yeah, my band, bunch of assholes. This was my first tour ever, and I was tour managing, and I messed up. I threw up all over the bus, and then they took off all my clothes and threw me outside New Orleans parking lot, the Harris parking lot, and I woke up just naked. I'm like, I shouldn't have been drinking, but New Orleans does that to you. I was 16, so it was a trip. And then I had to go find some like not delivery, but like a cleaning service that comes to you. I'm like, well, we're in the Harris parking lot. Can you come here? And they did, and everything was all good after that. But I definitely got some stink eyes because, I drank a little too much and threw up everywhere, and you could smell it through the whole tour. It's like you can't really take 16-year-old vomit. It's like the first time acid comes out of your stomach. That shit will stay in the seats.
Oh my gosh! Welcome to rock and roll life.
Yeah, I'm like, I think I'm gonna be just fine. Actually, if I didn't quit then, I don't think I'll ever quit.
Man, no, to get in at that young, you had to have some support. I mean, you had to have your family behind you to break into it that young.
They were supportive in a way where they let me. My parents are, older, and my sisters are 8 years older. So the time I turned 16, they're like, just fucking don't get in trouble. Just don't get arrested. Don't get pregnant. Anyone pregnant. Just for the love of God, just keep us out of any of that shit. And from that, I'm like, all right, I'll just stay on the road until I get successful enough to come back to LA with with my shoulders back a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Coming back on top, damn it.
I'm not coming back to LA with my tail under my, that's why I stayed in the Midwest. That's why the Midwest really took me up, because I was like, I'm not making any money. I might as well rent a place for $300 a month out here in Missouri or something and just make it work,
Well, then you're centrally located too, for training. Yeah,
I mean, when I was doing 250 shows a year in my beginning years, 175 of them were probably Oklahoma, Missouri, Fayetteville, Arkansas, Iowa. So it was just perfect. I didn't have to leave, And then I got a real booking agent. And you're like, we need to start over. You can't just play in, Tallahassee or, Tahlequah, Oklahoma every other month, It's like, so then and then the last 5 years, they've been putting me in all the cities, and now we're starting to blow up. So it's cool.
Oh, yeah, you're everywhere now. So you said Oklahoma, you play Kane's Ballroom?
Yeah, the first time, we normally play the Mercury Lounge. They don't, we are so blue. We are like blue collar musicians. I've literally played in every single fucking venue in Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, literally ones that were barbecue stands to the chili cook off to it's nonstop. We'll just say I say yes before I say no to everything. And if I could bring a vibe to someone, then that's what I'm going to do.
Right on, man. That's one of those unique venues there, Kane's. It's the history of it, of Big Daddy Kane and how he made his money and how his last name involves how he made his money. Little Kane sold there. I understand over the years, but that place goes way back. It's real. There's pictures of people on the walls, and I think Hank Williams is one of the newer ones. So So that it's a pretty kick-ass place there. So hey, we're super happy to have you coming down to Benton, Illinois, man.
Let's go.
Gonna be fun. Another thing I just wanted to say, you're playing. Were you playing New Year's Eve? You got a New Year's Eve.
Oh, this is the first time we're playing in America for New Year's Eve in like 8 years.
That's what I hear. Because you've been like China or something.
We play in China every year.
Yeah.
We've opened for Justin Bieber. We've always been for David Beckham. We've opened for so many random Casey and the Sunshine Band.
I knew there's a connection.
Yeah, it's like it's all good. So it's like we've been China was taking like sometimes we'll roll there. It takes like 17 hours to get there, and we'll play a show, and they're like, all right, we only need you to play for 11 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck? All right. No problem. So whatever you want me to do. Like, it's crazy.
11 minutes, man.
Yeah, we want you to do an 11-minute set. You're going to travel for 5 days for 11 minutes. I'm like, whatever. Yes.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's China and the New Year, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Funny.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, we really feel like rock stars out there. They're like, oh, Mr. Frasco, we love you. Like, please play the song "Smoking Dope and Rock and Roll." I'm like, all right, yeah, sure, why not?
Apparently, we're going to do an 11-minute version of it.
Yeah. We got one song. We got one request. Here we go. Smoking Dope. We're going to do the extended version.
Right on.
Yeah, man.
So, Family Fest that you're going to, we've always in the past had sort of a Grateful Dead tie of some type. Sean Cannon did the Voodoo Dead last year. We had we had Melvin Seals play from the Jerry Garcia band one year.
Oh, killer.
And so how deep have you gotten into that? Have you dipped your toes into the because I know when I go to your shows, there are a lot of festival kids and leftover deadheads like myself that come to see you.
Yeah, the handoff, the ones we're like the adopted step kid. like we're not really dead, but we are crazy like the dead. So but we've been doing all these festivals with the Allman Brothers and the Dead and Co. and all these guys, and I the last couple of years, I'm starting to take an appreciation to the music of Jerry Garcia and the Dead. So we'll definitely like on my podcast. We always do parodies like Truckin'. We did a song called Fuckin'. Just like,
that's awesome.
So we'll play a bunch of parodies and we'll play a bunch of Dead. We'll do some if that's your vibe out there. We'll plan something accordingly for that.
I like the Weird Al Yankovic movement on it there.
Yeah. That's our podcast. Sean Eccles, our guitar player, makes all these weird parodies. Oh yeah, it's funny.
That's great. Well, and you brought up the Allman Brothers there. I was already kind of thinking of Mr. Warren Haynes because you were talking about your touring schedule earlier, and I was thinking to myself, wow. Other than Warren Haynes, you got a lot of people beat. But that guy, last time I talked to him, he had 3 days. He explained his tour schedule to me, and he had 3 days off that year. And a bunch of these days, he played double shows.
Yeah, he's crazy like me. He's like, I think like if Warren can stay alive, then I feel like I could stay alive. That guy's seen everything. That guy has seen everything. I had a great conversation with Warren about all that stuff and how, watching his band members die and stuff. And like, he was the youngest kid in the band. All his bands, he was always like the youngest dude. And like, it's like for him to still have optimism and still take it on the chin like that and still rock out. I mean, it gave me so much respect for Warren Haynes. Seriously.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's like you say, he is a tour king, where it's like he's always out there and playing multiple shows. But so that's cool. You got to hang out with those guys and play. So man, well, hey, thanks so much for spending your morning with us.
Man. Sorry I was late. I'm normally not late, but I'm stockpiling all these podcasts before I go on tour forever. So it's like it's been nonstop. interviewing and talk to people, and I love it. But I won't be late to Family Fest.
I hope not, man. Now, hey, we look forward to seeing you. I look forward to seeing you again. Hopefully, I'll even bump into you out on the road again.
Oh yeah, you will.
Mickey's always dragging us somewhere. She's good for that.
Yeah, Mickey is the soldier, the Frasco soldier that we always needed, and I'm just thankful to have her in my life.
Oh, me too. Her, like I say, her husband's a good friend of mine, and that's how she came into my life. But she's just part of the friend. They're all part of the family, man. So love those guys. Love you. Thanks for being here, buddy. And we will.
Yeah, bud.
We'll see you down there on Labor Day weekend.
All right, let's get it. Thanks, family. Let's do it.
See you, Family Fest.
See you, buddy.
Later, y'all.
All right, there you go. So that is Andy Frasco.